Continuing from the previous episode 2005. Shabu Shabu. The blood-red realm filled with bloodlight is eerie, and the gorilla wind is moving. A creepy feeling of suffocation can be heard. In the snake and scorpion blood realm, countless evil forces have emerged around the snake and scorpion blood, and 10 blood snakes have emerged. Coiled on top of the hair on the top of his head, surrounded by extremely ferocious evil blood snakes, the peerless heavenly emperor and Gu Yuan are tightly surrounded. It's troublesome now, seeing the terrifying battle of the snake and scorpion blood, plus Xiaoyan being bound by it. The peerless heavenly emperor frowned. "Senior, can you delay for a while?" The next moment, Gu Yuan looked in Xiaoyan's direction, and when he saw Xiaoyan's soul immediately wriggling with flames, he instantly understood Xiaoyan's intention. He is condensing the reincarnation of Buddha's wrath, but the fusion of the 5 holy flames takes a lot of time. What's going on? Peerless Heavenly Emperor also vaguely smelled a rather terrifying aura from Xiaoyan's body, and said, "Bring me the key, old man." With a cold snort, the asterisk snake and scorpion stretched out its slender hand, ignoring the two of them. A asterisk snake opened its asterisk mouth and bit them directly. Kacha! With a sound, he lost his mind, and the jade key that opened the Holy Land was snatched by him. Tisk tisk, is this the only key to enter the Holy Land? Just as the jade was in hand, the asterisk snake and scorpion's lips and teeth flickered as he laughed. "Give it back to me." The prison wall of the wind. The peerless heavenly emperor suddenly roared. The cyan swirling around his body turned into a cyan hurricane, roaring and blasting the blood of the snakes and scorpions. The oppression contained in it is also depressing. Obviously, the strength of the peerless heavenly emperor 8-star fighting immortal in the late stage, even if the power does not exist in 10, the power contained in it is not diminished in the slightest. Go! Seeing the peerless heavenly emperor so desperately, the blood snake in the hands of the snake and scorpion blood surging, collided with his blue hurricane. Boom! The harsh energy touched the sound, shocking the eardrums of several people, causing Xiaoyan's brewing 5-color Buddha's wrath to reincarnate, and it quietly covered it. Next, look at me, but it's still a little short. At this time, Xiaoyan sat quietly on the ground. The blood snakes all over his body could not detect the strange fluctuations in Xiaoyan's body, because Xiaoyan's fusion it was carried out in a sea of fighting spirit. Looking around, in the now empty Do Cheat Sea, in addition to the high-speed operation of the firewood double bucket core, 5 flames of different colors are slowly beating, they are slowly merging, and once they are completely fused, the terrifying power contained in the 5-color Buddha's wrath of samsara may be enough to make the asterisk snakes and scorpions feel really troubled. Crash! The melodious tide of energy hung down from the sky, and the peerless heavenly emperor did not hesitate at all. The cyan battle chi emerged from his body jumped, and he directly attacked the asterisk snake and scorpion. "Are you alright?" Gu Yuan easily came to Xiaoyan's side during the battle of the sky and asked. "It's alright." Xiaoyan nodded lightly to him and smiled lightly. An amber arc of fire in his body like a blazing sun slowly radiated from his body. This is... Just as the amber firefox rose in Xiaoyan's body, a rare tremor appeared in the entire blood prison, and even the peerless heavenly emperor who fought against the asterisk snake and scorpion couldn't help muttering. Such a terrifying holy flame? In my memory, there is absolutely no holy flame that can emit such a huge amount of energy? Snake and scorpion Xun'er also raised her eyebrows and exclaimed, "Kacha!" After the breath, the evil blood snake chain on Xiaoyan's body was easily shattered, and he regained his freedom. On top of Xiaoyan's head, 5 colored flames slowly entrenched, and the fusion was completed. 5 petals of different colors. Every leaf contains the sacred breath of the ancient times. The 5-colored fire lotus trembled gently, and on each fire lotus petal, firefoxes with completely different properties shot out in all directions, shaking constantly, as if something shocking was about to descend into this asterisk prison. This guy, I haven't seen him for a long time, and his strength is really getting more and more terrifying. Seeing Xiaoyan's actions so shocking, Gu Yuan's mouth also showed a wry smile. Squeak! With a sound, the 5-colored flames easily protected Xiaoyan, Gu Yuan, and the peerless heavenly emperor, and immediately wiped out the world-annihilating beam, which became more and more intense. Senior, it's still a little bit. At this time, Gu Yuan saw Xiaoyan's soul tumbling in his body, and immediately understood something. The five-color Buddha's anger reincarnation fusion is completed, but it must be guided by soul power and burning determination, and the target must be completely locked. You mustn't let this guy use his attack, otherwise there will be nothing left here. At this moment, there was a trace of fear in the beautiful eyes of the snake and scorpion, and she said solemnly, because from the five-color fire lotus, she also really smelled an extreme threat. Although that kind of attack is not enough to kill her, but if she takes it abruptly, I am afraid that she will also be seriously injured. And me, seeing this, the peerless heavenly emperor nodded suddenly. All the fighting energy in his body whistled out, and suddenly the blood of the snake and scorpion was temporarily entangled. You immortal bastard! Seeing this, snake-scorpion Shui's pressure increased greatly, but he did not dare to underestimate the peerless heavenly emperor, so he could only deal with it immediately. With the help of the peerless heavenly emperor, Xiaoyan's last step was completely completed. The rolling of his soul force made Xiaoyan completely lock the body of the snake and scorpion blood, and the blessing of the power of Fenju completely stabilized the reincarnation of the five-color Buddha's anger. Try this! After the blink of an eye, Xiaoyan's eyes were scarlet, blue veins bulging. The five-color flame above his head easily came to his hands. The five-color fire lotus swelled violently, and then the petals suddenly collapsed for a while. The divine aura emerged, enough to easily purify the power of countless evil qi that burned the blood prison, and came. This stinky boy! Feeling the tingling fire of the holy flame, 10 blood snakes appeared together on the top of the hair of the snake and scorpion blood. An unprecedented depression swept over her delicate body. Five-color fire lotus, at the moment of flying, 5 fire lotus petals of different colors have disappeared, revealing the most pure and flawless five-color fire lotus, which contains power that is indescribable. Scorpion blood! Xiaoyan shouted in a low voice, and the majestic soul power swept out, wrapping the fire lotus. The speed skyrocketed, and assassinated the fleeing snakes and scorpion blood. The body of the snake and scorpion. Million snake venom, the power of 10 snakes. In an instant, the snake and scorpion Xun'er fled some distance, but also found that there was no hope of escaping, because he had been locked by it. Even if he fled to the ends of the earth, he would still be tracked by it, and immediately snorted, covering the shade. The *** evil spirit of Japan unfolds along with what he has learned throughout his life. Bang bang bang. Peefed. At that time, in the entire blood prison, the mountains and rivers collapsed, the void squirmed, and explosions like the wrath of the gods swept the entire blood prison. Genius remembers the address of this site in 1 second. Mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 2006. The spooky blood prison was filled with countless blood snakes, turning it into a real hell, but with the attack of Xiaoyan's five-color flames and the blood of the snakes and scorpions, the entire blood prison scene was extremely hot, and the space was riddled with holes, as if encountering it was an extremely brutal fight. The loud noise like the wrath of the gods covered the entire blood prison. The evil void around the blood prison suddenly became dim at this moment, and the hot firefoxes overflowed with the aura of destruction, and the huge void cracks gently filled the air. Come out, as appalling as the end of the world. What a terrifying power! Even with the protection of Xiaoyan's power, peerless heavenly emperor and Gu Yuan were behind Xiaoyan and couldn't help but mutter. This level of attack, let alone the ** snakes, is extremely difficult even for peerless heavenly emperors of the same strength. Bang bang bang! The five-color Buddha's wrath exploded in reincarnation, like a volcanic lava vent venting its anger, and countless sacred breaths swept out with the scorching flames, defeating the mighty snake and scorpion blood. Good. Okay, you stinky boy. Before the sound of the explosion had completely dissipated, an extremely angry shout emerged, and the sound contained extremely cold killing intent. Serpent Xun'er never dreamed that a human kid in the late stage of the 7-star fighting immortals would be able to display such appalling means of attack. If it wasn't for her own unique skills, I'm afraid she would have just fallen to the ground, but this is so, a strong killing intent lingered in the heart of the snake and scorpion blood. Now she is quite embarrassed, and her body is white and red. Bloodstains appeared on the skin, and even the lifeline blood snake on the top of the head had already died. Sure enough, it's still a little short. Hearing the angry roar of the snake and scorpion blood from the center of the explosion, a wry smile appeared on the corner of Xiaoyan's mouth. His current strength is only in the late stage of the 7-star fighting immortals. If he achieves consummation, he will have a better chance of winning against the *** snake. There are actually some sequelae. His eyes were fixed on the center of the explosion. After a while, a strong sense of dizziness emerged, and Xiaoyan couldn't help frowning. This time, he still used the fusion of the 5 holy flames in an upright manner, but he didn't actually kill the enemy, and now his body's fighting chi and soul power are nearly exhausted. It seems that this time, it is quite dangerous. I know you're not dead, get out. Xiaoyan insisted on a strong posture, in order not to let the ** snakes and scorpions notice. The ancient ruler suddenly held in his hand, and sneered. I really underestimate you. I never thought that the most ordinary guy is the most terrifying one. The aftermath of the explosion slowly dissipated, and the ** snake and scorpion walked out gently, but beneath the contemptuous smile contained a monstrous killing intent. The killing intent of the powerhouses in the later stage of the 8-star Do Xian. That level is definitely not something that Xiaoyan can resist today. Little chops, leave your life to my mother. As soon as the voice fell, there were only 4 blood snakes left above the head of the snake and scorpion Xun'er, whistling and roaring, and immediately twisted their enchanting figure, facing Xiao with a blood demon-like posture of extreme evil. The flames roared. 4 pieces. Xiaoyan looked at the ** snake and scorpion roaring like a madman, and immediately smiled coldly, but he did not make any move, but his eyes slowly closed, and the ancient ruler in his hand flickered with a dazzling brilliance. It seems to be sensing something. Xiaoyan, step back. Looking at this scene, peerless heavenly emperor and Ji Yuan's hearts, drops of cold sweat involuntarily surfaced. The current killing intent and attacking power of the snake and scorpion blooder is much more tyrannical than before. No phase slash. Just when the red lips of the snake and scorpion blood were squirming and a sneer appeared, Xiaoyan's eyes suddenly opened, and a terrifying aura of silence filled the air, and then the ancient ruler in his hand lightened. Swipe it away lightly. What? Snake and scorpion Xun'er sensed a bad aura from Xiaoyan's extremely strange behavior, and immediately stayed in the air, her beautiful eyes watching the surroundings vigilantly. What power? Peerless heavenly emperor and Ji Yuan looked at each other and muttered. Crack! With a sound, a tide of invisible energy rushed towards the snake and scorpion blood without any sign, and suddenly there were 4 scarred blood snakes above its head, which suddenly squirmed. And go! Peefed! The snake and scorpion Xun'er didn't react yet, and all of a sudden, mouthfuls of scarlet blood sprayed out from its attractive red lips, and after losing 6 and 3 lifeline blood snakes in a row, it passed out directly. Senior, grab her! At this moment, Xiaoyan snorted coldly. Obviously his strength was close to being overdrawn. Where to run? Wind prisoner. The peerless heavenly emperor had sharp eyesight, and with a big wave of his hand, dozens of cyan hurricanes surrounded the snake and scorpion blood, suppressing his body without a trace. Hoo. Watching the peerless heavenly emperor finish all this, the ancient ruler fell heavily in Xiaoyan's hand. Xiaoyan was relieved and sat on the ground gasping for breath. Good boy, you have courage. Peerless heavenly emperor couldn't help but pat Xiaoyan's shoulder and laughed. If it wasn't for Xiaoyan's help this time, I'm afraid it would be really dead. Senior, you're very polite. Seeing this, Xiaoyan scratched his head and smiled. The demon embryos in the ancient prison are becoming more and more terrifying, and the souls of countless ancient powerhouses are suppressed and sealed here. If the evil clan from outside the territory succeeds, I am afraid that our entire ancient clan will be severely damaged, or even be removed from the name, and the evil demons will also be born from this. Peerless heavenly emperor's eyes darkened and he said, but there seem to be some evil people in the center of the ancient clan, and there is also the residents of the ancient clan. I'm worried. Ji Yuan's eyes also flashed with a rare worry, and it was obvious that he was now in a dilemma. 2 seniors, in my opinion, we might as well enter the Holy Land first and find Xun'er to make a long-term plan. Xiaoyan also gave advice. Good way. The 3 hit it off and couldn't help but say in surprise. Just this guy? Looking at the seriously injured serpent blood, peerless heavenly emperor worried. After all, this guy is a genuine 8-star Do Xian late-stage strength, even if he is seriously injured, if he blows himself up, the three of them will not be good. Fruit to eat. The 10 blood snakes above her head are her lifeline. I killed 9 of them. She should have been temporarily unconscious. Bring her in with the seal, Xuanzhong said after thinking for a while. As one of the 3 giants of the ancient prison's evil shadow, Snake and Scorpion Xun'er could not complete the beheading with the current Xuanzhong and the 3 of them, and could not let her go back, so he could only resort to this, and maybe he could get some useful benefits from his mouth. Information. Since now. Let's go. After the breath, the jade key flickered, and the snake and scorpion blood was suppressed by Xuanzhong's 3-layer outer 3-layer restraint. Even if he woke up, it would not be a climate. Xun'er, I'm here. Looking at the passage leading to the ancient Holy Land in front of him, Xuanzhong called out from his dry throat, and immediately poured into it. At this point, the 3 of them headed towards the ancient sacred place with the blood of the snake and scorpion. As for the so-called Lu Hao, there is no such luck. Genius remembers the address of this site in 1 second. Mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 2007. Squeak. Without any barriers, Xuanzhong and his party successfully passed through the space passage and entered the Holy Land, but along the way, they discovered that there were already many evil creatures coveting the Holy Land around the Holy Land. Fortunately, the Holy Land was protected by the powerful breath of the ancient ancestors of all dynasties. Here? Is it the Holy Land of the ancient clan? Ji Yuan and Xuanzhong had just arrived here, and they couldn't help but say, especially Ji Yuan and the peerless Heavenly Emperor, the bloodlines in their bodies began to heat up faintly, and a wave originated from the coercion in the depths of the blood and souls shocked the 2 of them. Obviously, this is the so-called holy place. This is the Holy Land. The worry on peerless Heavenly Emperor's face dimmed slightly. Such a big ancient clan, the senior members of the ancient clan and the clansmen actually followed the Tao of the foreign evil clan one after another, and were controlled by it. The entire ancient world, the ancient prison became the base camp of the foreign evil clan, which itself is a shame. Fortunately, this ancient the most important holy land of the clan has not fallen, and it can be regarded as a little consolation in such a crisis. What a strange holy place. Xuanzhong frowned, looking at this rather barren land. A trace of golden flames were looming, and there was an extremely obscure ancient atmosphere in the distance, making Xuanzhong unable to help surprised. Looking around, this so-called ancient sacred place is clearly a very rich land, majestic mountains. The terrain of the mountains is from high to low, the trails are quite rugged, and above the mountains, there are conspicuous coffins placed everywhere. On the way up the mountain, it's puzzling. What is that? After the blink of an eye, Ji Yuan pointed to an ancient tree in front of him and said, his voice trembling and strange. What? Xuanzhong and peerless Heavenly Emperor followed the voice and saw a scene of a golden giant cocoon that was about tens of meters in the line of sight of the 3. On the golden giant cocoon, there are countless mysterious ancient golden patterns, forming a majestic beauty of dragon flying and phoenix dancing, and wrapped in the giant cocoon. There is a terrifying aura that makes the 3 people stunned. Golden cocoon? Could it be that the rumors within the clan are true? Golden Emperor Fen Tianyan is really the legacy of the Holy Flame. Only by mastering this flame can there be a slight chance to understand the Holy Flame? Looking at this scene, a trace of ecstasy emerged on the face of the peerless Heavenly Emperor. Btth2. Just as the 3 of them were about to observe at close range, the scenery in front of them shattered, and it turned out to be an illusion. I have sensed Xun'er's faint breath. Go to the top of the mountain. After the breath, Xun'er's soul power on the soul jade shook slightly, Xuanzhong said excitedly. Btth2. Just as Xuanzhong and the others were about to move, the severely injured *** snake and scorpion swayed slightly, apparently about to wake up. Then wait. For a while, Xuanzhong also stopped and stayed quietly beside Snake Xun'er. The matter of the ancient prison and even the ancient clan must be completely resolved, and the terrifying power of the snake and scorpion blood, coupled with the sublime status, I am afraid to know a lot of things. Cough cough cough. The beautiful eyes just opened, and the only blood snake above the hair on the top of the head was shaking slightly. Obviously this time the injury was too serious. Where is this? Snake Xun'er couldn't help muttering in a low voice, because it gave her a rather soft aura, which was extremely strange, but it made her quite frightened. How many people do you have in your extraterrestrial evil clan army? Xiaoyan asked with interest as he crouched beside the snake and scorpion blood. Little beast, if it falls into elder sister's hands, elder sister will definitely rip off her skin and drink blood, so that you will know what the real despair is. Seeing Xiaoyan's harmless face, the *** snake and scorpion roared hideously. Bang bang bang. However, let the snake and scorpion blood roar how, the 6 layers of seals around him honestly suppress and seal it down, and there is no sign of breaking free. HMPH, if you don't want it to die, just call it otherwise. In Xiaoyan's hands, the 5 colored flames slowly wriggled. I won't tell you if you kill me. Snake Scorpion Xun'er sneered. Forget it. Let's go to the top of the mountain first. After some inquiries, Snake Scorpion Shui's impregnable red lips couldn't be shaken, and the 3 of them shook their heads. Is this the so-called ancient sacred place? Except for those vassal races living in the ancient clan, all the powerhouses have been controlled by us. Now this place has completely turned into a hell. You are just the humble ants who witnessed the coming of hell. Once my king succeeds, the entire Douyin continent will be completely obliterated by him. There are not many good days left for you, so enjoy it. Snake Scorpion Xun'er smiled grimly, and there was a maddening smile in the laughter. There's so much nonsense. At this moment, a touch of energy from Peerless Heavenly Emperor's body directly hit the blood of the snake and scorpion, causing quite serious scars. Dying. Seeing this, Xiaoyan and Ji Yuan couldn't help but look at each other. This guy is too cruel, right? Let's go to the top of the mountain to find Xun'er, and then we can only have a long-term plan. Now that the ancients are killed, I'm afraid there will be a huge challenge next. Peerless Heavenly Emperor was unable to shake his head, and immediately stepped out towards the top of the mountain. Xiaoyan nodded and rushed towards the top of the mountain with the blood of the snake and scorpion in a dying state. Strange, this majestic mountain seems to have buried countless ancient ancestors. Every time it gets closer to the top of the mountain, the pressure is extremely powerful. About halfway up the mountain, Xiaoyan's pressure increased greatly, and the sweat on his forehead continued to emerge. Even the steps are extremely heavy, and each step requires a lot of money. This is the resting place of the ancestors of the ancient clan. Anyone who wants to successfully climb to the top of the mountain will undoubtedly need a lot of consideration. Peerless Heavenly Emperor is also like Xiaoyan, but he still gritted his teeth and faced the top of the mountain step by step. Go! Tear it! In an instant, he seemed to feel that Xiaoyan was suffering so badly. The blood of the Xiao family in Xiaoyan's body was completely boiling, as powerful as a savage bull, and there was a complex touch between his eyebrows. The mysterious light pattern is also more and more dazzling. Xiao Clan Tattoo. In fact, the power of the clan lines between Xiaoyan's eyebrows has long been activated, it's just that Xiaoyan has not discovered it. Xiao Clan? Looking at this scene, the Peerless Heavenly Emperor stood upright in the same place. A touch of incomparable shock emerged in his heart, and the memories of the Xiao clan emerged in his heart like spring water. Little guy, you guys are really lucky. Seeing Xiaoyan's emaciated figure in black shirt, Peerless Heavenly Emperor also followed slowly. At the same time, at the top of the mountain, a golden scorching sun exudes endless splendor, and under the scorching sun, a golden giant cocoon pupa quietly crawls here. The breath in the golden giant cocoon is sacred and inviolable. A touch of light energy, like a sea fairy, endless fairy graceful aura, all on top of the golden giant cocoon. At this moment, everything was silent, even in the golden scorching sun. A touch of power beyond heaven and earth slowly poured into the golden giant cocoon. That kind of power is holy flame, but it's also reincarnation. Chapter list. Continuing from the previous episode 2008. Wang buzzing. The huge pressure made Xiaoyan and the 3 of them struggle. The rocks under their feet swayed step by step, but in exchange they moved forward a little bit. Even though the distance was only 100 meters, the movement speed of the 3 of them was as slow as a snail. Not to mention the strange aura and the coffins on the surrounding mountains, which seemed to be resisting Xiaoyan and the others, causing them to be attacked from front and back. Xun'er's breath is getting closer. Seeing that the distance to the top of the mountain is only 100 meters away, the soul jade in Xiaoyan's hand also exudes a gentle temperature, which is obviously very close to Xun'er's hiding place. At that time, Xiaoyan would not care how scarred his body was and how great the pressure was. Under these pressures, he gritted his teeth and walked step by step. Even Xiaoyan didn't feel any burden for this, and a sense of relief and guilt lingered in his heart. It has been decades since the 5 emperors broke the sky. In these decades, in order to find and explore the secrets of the Xiao clan, and also to improve their strength, they have been walking in various venues to improve their strength, but Xun'er was the last to find them. Undoubtedly, Xiaoyan felt quite self-blame in his heart. Xiaoyan is well aware of Xun'er's indifferent character, but for those who are not familiar with life, Xiaoyan is inevitably worried that Xun'er will be bullied, and he is not by her side. The top of the towering mountain range in this holy land is completely covered by layers of mist. Whether it is using soul power or other powers, it cannot be sensed at all. The golden giant Cocoon can also faintly see traces, which is quite strange. Don't blame yourself, you've done a great job. Xun'er won't blame you. I remember she said that she doesn't want to lose to anyone, because she also wants to accompany you to the peak and see the other scenery. Ji Yuan was keenly aware of Xiaoyan's behavior. Feeling hurt, he put a hand on Xiaoyan's shoulder, and immediately laughed, telling Xun'er's little secret hidden in his heart. Well, Dad, let's go together. Xiaoyan heard the words and his body suddenly shook. Obviously, these words came out of Ji Yuan's mouth and were quite shocking. He could clearly know that the innocent girl in the past, I am afraid that these years it is also extremely difficult. But in the future, all the rest will be taken up by oneself. Boom! A loud sound of energy repelled and pushed Xiaoyan's body away, seemingly intentionally preventing them from entering the space at the top of the Holy Land. The ban on this holy place is too tyrannical, and there seems to be something in the top of the mountain, which makes me uneasy. Zaidu forcefully gritted his teeth and prepared to break through, but Xiaoyan was directly bounced by a layer of invisible energy ripples, and he endured it. He couldn't help getting up and was halfway up the mountain, facing the two. There's no other way. Peerless Heavenly Emperor and Ji Yuan also shot backwards in a rather embarrassed way like Xiaoyan. What on earth is it? That lord didn't tell me that there is a holy flame in the Holy Land. What's the situation now? Seeing Xiaoyan and the others frowning, Snake and Scorpion Blood was slowly watching the misty mountain top. Wondered. Wang buzzing. After the blink of an eye, the body of the Snake and Scorpion Blood trembled abruptly, and a fear from the depths of the soul was released uncontrollably. Holy flame? Ancient ancestors? The Snake and Scorpion Xun'er had 10,000 doubts in her heart, but there was something in the Holy Land that made the capital of the 3 giants fear. In addition, she was seriously injured, and her momentum was weakened for a while. But the fluctuation just now was clearly the exclusive aura of Shengyan, but that kind of power was countless times more tyrannical than the fire of Shengyan on Xiaoyan. If the now seriously injured self confronted head-on, I am afraid that the body and spirit would be destroyed in an instant. Senior, is there any way to jump over these restrictions and go directly to the top of the mountain? After some conversation, Xiaoyan also hurriedly asked. This kind of thing makes Xiaoyan have no way, but the destination is ahead. Giving up is not natural. Xiaoyan's style. The soul power of Soul Jade has completely locked on the top of the mountain, and Xun'er is in the top of the mountain, which makes Xiaoyan quite eager. Do not know. In the past, the Holy Land was peaceful, but it has never been as severe as it is now. This kind of restriction is probably caused by the Holy Land feeling the evil aura of the outside world, and thus exerting itself. It is impossible to crack it with our strength. Peerless Heavenly Emperor shook his head and said, Holy Land the tyrannical, let alone 8-star fighting immortals, even some ordinary reincarnation powerhouses are helpless, let alone a few of them. And the coffins in these mountains, I remember that they are all the corpses of some fallen powerhouses of the ancient clan. They contain unparalleled power. Why have they all disappeared now? Ji Yuan's eyes flickered and he wondered. Senior, I used the aura of the holy flame as an introduction. I don't know if this is possible. Since there is the existence of holy flames in this holy land, I am afraid that with holy flames as a guide, I am afraid that it will be enough to respond, and all problems will be solved by then. As of now, I can only try. Peerless Heavenly Emperor and Ji Yuan looked at each other and agreed. Stay back a little bit. Xiaoyan finished speaking, and the bright amber flames around his body slowly rose. Wang buzzing. Just as the holy flames rose from Xiaoyan's body, the golden giant Cocoon in the mountain range suddenly produced a series of tremors, followed by streaks of golden light, like bright beams piercing the night, and after a while it turned into raindrops and generally spread everywhere. This is the energy aura of the ancient ancestors? Impossible? Could it be that this girl has been recognized by countless ancestors? But no one has ever been able to. Seeing the golden raindrops drifting around and the thick heat waves swept out, the peerless heavenly emperor couldn't help but lose his voice, and an awe-inspiring aura filled his heart. Wang buzzing. At the same time, the burning determination in Xiaoyan's body, the holy flame crystal, including the amber rock soul fire, etc., immediately trembled, and an aura of obedience was released from it. Peefed. With a sound, a golden scorching sun descended slowly like a god's mansion in the sky, and the endless splendor showed the supreme glory, decorating the entire holy place like a temple. Golden scorching sun, golden light, golden flame, and looking down from the three, a lonely figure sitting slightly in the middle, lightly entrenched, a light breath spreads out, a circle of golden black and golden patterns slightly on the center of his eyebrows. Flickering, extraordinarily mysterious. Shabu shabu. Impossible. At this moment, the eyes of the snake and scorpion blood suddenly tightened, and a fear from the bottom of the heart was displayed from head to toe, and the cold breath of death really moved her. Gollum. This is the Supreme Holy Flame ranked 8th on the Holy Flame list. There was a rare dizziness and a touch of consternation in Xiaoyan's mind. Isn't the beautiful figure sitting quietly in front of him the same Xun'er he was thinking about at night? Chapter list. Continuing from the previous episode 2009. Xun'er. Seeing the delicate and beautiful figure in the sky, Xiaoyan suddenly felt deeply touched in his heart. The fog in the sky slowly dissipated, and a scorching sun hung high on the top of the mountain range. Endless glorious holy aura and scorching aura emerged. Below the scorching sun, Xun'er's figure was slowly wrapped by a golden giant cocoon. Looking around, the golden flame above the dazzling sun actually poured into Xun'er's body, and at the center of Xun'er's eyebrows, a sun-gold pattern was slowly branded. Silver bell-like tremors emanated from the sky. Above Xun'er's figure sitting cross-legged, the veil was graceful, as beautiful as a hibiscus emerging from water. The fluctuations spread out slowly. Suddenly, the entire mountain range suddenly vibrated, and a huge force was like a galaxy falling into the world. The huge pressure filled everyone's heart, and people couldn't help but feel a sense of suffocation. This kind of power is quite mysterious, like the most ancient power between heaven and earth. The 8th in the Holy Flame ranking, the 9 mysteries Mingyan. Xiaoyan also said with relief, since Xun'er was fine, he could feel at ease. 9 profound Mingyan. How is that possible? But unlike Xiaoyan, peerless heavenly emperor's eyes shrank tightly, and an unparalleled throbbing swept out from the bottom of his heart. Xuanzhong Mingyan is one of the 4 major holy flames in the beginning of chaos. It is comparable to the top 3 holy flames, because it is the lord of 9 profound fire and because the 9 golden crows are its true form. It is said that in ancient times, the first generation controller of the 9 profound Chongming flame, the lord of the 9 profound fire, only relied on his own innate power, and with the addition of the 9 profound Mingyan, he successfully cultivated the 9 golden crows without losing any strength. People, even in the rank of reincarnation, can be called the peak of existence. Xiaoyan looked at the scorching sun of holy flame above the sky, and his heart was shaking. I have been exhausted, and I have experienced countless life and death junctures, and I have only harvested 5 holy flames, and the ranking of the 5 holy flames is still quite low. The holy flames on the left and right are average, but Xun'er actually relies on the inheritance of the ancient clan, the heritage of the ancient clan, and directly obtained the 8th-ranked holy flame. This made Xiaoyan quite a bit unhappy. Excluding these, the inheritance of the holy flame of the Xiao clan is somewhat inferior. Even with the addition of Mu Yingying, Yan Kai, and Su Shuiying, the inheritance of the holy flame of the Xiao clan is better than that of the ancient clan. Too far behind. And what puzzled Xiaoyan the most was that the Xiao clan was like a giant in the world. How could it be so much worse than the ancient clan? Xiaoyan, do it. With your holy flame, help Xun'er to devour the golden crow. After the breath, the shock on the face of the peerless heavenly emperor turned into a rare smile, and a rapid roar swept out. Okay. Hearing this, Xiaoyan nodded lightly, as if he had sensed something. The golden scorching sun and the golden lines on Xun'er's eyebrows seemed to have some kind of special connection. Wang buzzing. Without any explanation, the dazzling amber rock soul fire spread out all over Xiaoyan's body in an instant, and a figure wrapped in flames kicked hard with the help of the void, and suddenly went towards the top of the mountain. Clang! Even with the blessing of holy flame, the operation of Fenju, Xiaoyan's speed was suppressed a lot, but fortunately, Xiaoyan successfully reached the top of the mountain. Xun'er. Just after arriving at the top of the mountain, the tyrannical pressure of the holy flame and the terrifying temperature caused Xiaoyan's face to change slightly, but Xiaoyan still gritted his teeth and walked towards Xun'er step by step. Xiaoyan always felt that Xun'er now seemed to have entered some kind of special state, and all of this was probably related to the scorching sun above the sky. Peefed. With a sound, a trace of golden flames scattered above the scorching sun and shot vertically towards Xiaoyan. For a while, countless conspicuous scars appeared on Xiaoyan's body. Tear. Once again, the golden flames turned into golden crows that roared violently, and roared away at Xiaoyan. Even if the amber rock soul fire resisted hard, it would be wiped out and swallowed by it after the breath. Clean. Without any protection, Xiaoyan's body was directly exposed to the air, and then subjected to the most deadly roasting of the 9 profound Chongming flames. His body was tense, and circles of blood red appeared on the skin, but Xiaoyan did not care. Among his eyes, only Xun'er, who is close to Qi in front of him. Senior, the holy flame on Xiaoyan's body is not enough to resist Xuanzhong Mingyan. If this continues, he will die. Ji Yuan said with a bit of heartache. His eyes couldn't help but look at the sky with reddened eyes. Whether it was Xiaoyan or Xun'er, he didn't want to see anything. After all, the palms and backs of the hands were full of flesh. Don't worry, since they are husband and wife, then this kind of thing must be done by them themselves. Peerless Heavenly Emperor narrowed his eyes slightly, and immediately stared at the scorching sun above the sky, and said quite mysteriously. Crash! Countless golden crows attacked Xiaoyan, even if it caused extremely serious wounds, but under Xiaoyan's unafraid of death, coupled with the power of immortality and immortality in Xiaoyan's body, Xiaoyan came to Xun'er easily as if nothing happened. Silly girl, thank you for your hard work. Just came to the golden giant cocoon, looking at Xun'er wrapped in the golden giant cocoon, breathing one after another, the alluring pink lips were swallowed, and a trace of golden flame was swallowed by it. Do you remember that I once told you that among the ancient clan, there is a supreme elder who is only in name? After Shunshi, the peerless heavenly emperor said, You mean, the supreme power who once used his own strength to quell the turmoil of the entire ancient 7 clans? The first-generation master of Zhuzan Chong Mingyan, Zhuzan Huo Master? At this moment, Ji Yuan's pupils shrank suddenly. An indescribable shock swept through the body. It's all right, I'm afraid this girl has already awakened the 9 profound Fire Lord, and I can only rely on them for the rest. Peerless Heavenly Emperor clenched his fist tightly and couldn't help muttering. This is a mark of reincarnation? In an instant, Xiaoyan's heart beat violently as he approached the distance. When his eyes were fixed on Xun'er's eyebrows, a sense of loss of voice and numbness on his scalp swept across. Whole body. Reincarnation seal. Zhuzan Chongming. 9 golden crows. Everything is silent. Jinwu appears. Zhu Xuanzhong. One after another ancient Sanskrit sound, like the ancient overlord of the chaotic world at the beginning of the world, slowly emerged. Boom! The Sanskrit sound appeared. Xiaoyan's body was instantly bounced off dozens of meters, and the holy flames on his body were directly absorbed by the scorching sun in the sky. In an instant, the 9 golden crows spread their wings like rocks, and stretched out in the sky. Chi! The strange roaring voice has surpassed the world, above all things. After the breath, the 9 golden crows flew towards Xun'er's eyebrows from an extremely strange angle. Peefed! With a sound, the 9 unstoppable golden crows slowly drowned in Xun'er's eyebrows, and a wave of extreme fluctuations slowly emerged. That is the 9-color golden pattern formed by the 9 golden crows, and it is also the inheritance of the supreme power of the ancient times, the 9 profound Fire Lord, Reincarnation. Xun'er actually obtained the Reincarnation seal of the ancient Super Strong when inheriting the Holy Flame, which was absolutely unexpected for the 3 present. And as the holy flame and samsara were completely absorbed, Xun'er frowned slightly, and the slender jade hand wriggled slightly, which was obviously a sign of waking up. Chapter list.